Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Here today we are planning to make some delicious crawfish and shrimp dip. You know, when I was a kid we used to catch crawfish, called them mud bugs. Used to catch them in the creek. Never thought I would have been eating them many years later. So we've got some delicious crawfish here and some shrimp. We've got some butter melting in our pan. We're going to add that to the hot butter. You always want to make sure that whatever fat you're choosing to use, it is hot before you add your product. That's really, really important because you don't want that product to absorb all that fat. And seafood, as I'm sure you know, does not take very long to cook. And the crawfish are actually already cooked. They're in the freezer section of your seafood guy. So we're going to take about 4 or 5 minutes here to cook our seafood. All right, so now that the seafood is cooked about 4 or 5 minutes, we're actually going to remove it to our food processor. You want to try to leave your fat in the bottom of the pan because we're going to be doing some more sauteing. So it's best to use a slotted spoon. All right. Now we're going to process it, but we don't want it really, really fine, so we just kind of want a rough chop there. We're going to do a little pulsing. And then, oh, that looks perfect. Then we're going to remove it to our bowl. Tell you guys a little trick that use a food processor. If you want to dump something out, usually the blade follows along behind it. I always take the blade from underneath and put my finger there and grip it. And then that way, when I want to turn it upside down, my blade stays in place. Nice little kitchen tip. We will be coming back to the food processor in just a moment. So we still have our fat in the pan. If you feel like you need more, it's perfectly fine to add more. I personally don't think we need to, so I'm going to leave that be. Now we're going to come back and we're actually going to add some vegetables. We've got some chopped celery, chopped bell pepper, and some chopped onion. Whatever vegetable you want to use. You could use a green bell pepper, yellow. I think colors are always really, really pretty. As they say, you eat first with your eyes. All right, I think our onions are looking pretty good here. We're going to go ahead and add this mixture to the food processor. Now we are going to come back to more sauteing, so we probably will want to add a little bit more fat. I'm using butter today, but you can certainly use olive oil if you choose. We're going to pulse up the vegetables, just like we did the seafood. A little bit more processing is in order. Oh yes, looks delicious. And you actually kind of want to keep it somewhat chunky. That's why we're not pureeing it really fine. And we're going to go back into our pan with the vegetables. Again, I'm going to hold my blade in place with my finger underneath. All right, we're going to saute the vegetables just a little bit. And now we're starting to add our other flavor components, our spices. We've got some Creole seasoning here. We're going to sprinkle that over the vegetables. Creole seasoning can be found in your spice section of your grocery stores, or you might even be able to make your own. All right, now we're going to add a little flour. This just adds a little bit of a thickening agent to the mixture. You want to kind of cook it down a little bit. You really don't want to see any bits of white when you're stirring this around. I can tell it's already starting to thicken up like it's supposed to. A little bit of tomato paste. Move that around. Now we're going to come back and add our seafood that we chopped earlier. Going to add in a few green onions. Adds a nice little color to it. A little bit of Worcestershire. That adds a nice little salt kick to it, so you notice I'm not even adding any salt or pepper. And then the last thing I want to add is a little bit of hot sauce. Hot sauce of your choice. I don't know if you're like me, but I've got about 20 different hot sauces in my cabinet. I go through my favorites. This happens to be a little chipotle one, and it just gives a nice little kick to it as well. All right. And there you have it, a delicious shrimp and crawfish dip. Hopefully you'll make this part of your entertaining this summer. I'd like to show you how I like to serve it, and that is with some crusty baguette and some garnish of green onions on the top. Absolutely delicious. I'm Tammy Brawley from The Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.